let's talk about AI again, because I find it really interesting. AI, well, not AI, LLM. Yeah, that's the key, isn't it? So, what do you think about it? Like, because I've seen it take a few of my friends' jobs already so far. That's the worry to me with it. I don't know about, obviously, as someone that works in the creative industries.
And I've seen it take a couple of friends of mine's, which is funny because in 2004 through 2007, I ran this ARG called El Centro, and I used chatbots. I used a couple, but I used one specifically called Copperman. And if you look Copperman up on archive.org, because it's gone now, he eventually had to put a disclaimer on the webpage that said, this is not an entity. It's not it's not an alien. It's not a spirit. He's like, it's a really simple cut up machine that comes up with some, really cool things because it's got a language interface in front of it. And at that point, this was like 2004 through 2007. At that point, even, the technology was there. It's not as good as it is now, but it was there. And people started to lose their minds around that. I had to stop using it in my game because you could do what's called instances. Like he would give you an instance, the developer, and you were in control of that LLM, which they didn't call it that back then, but you were in control of your part of it. And I was using it for a game where certain things would trigger certain phrases that a bot would give back to you, which is, if you said the right thing at the right time, you got the answer to the thing that led you to the next thing in the puzzle. It was like a puzzle game. Although I was using Google mostly for people to Google like these weird little web pages that I was building and putting through SEO. So anyway, I saw stuff which made me shut the game down. I saw stuff because you could see the transcripts, and I saw people using it like a therapist.
Yeah.
Right. And I can't get my head around why somebody would do that and why ChatGPT or, all these companies say, oh, it's great to use as a therapist. No, it's not. It's not. But they're being capitalist, I have no other word. So they can make money on this thing, but they don't care about you, and they don't care about the people they're hurting, and they are hurting people, and they will be hurting people in the future, taking their jobs, doing mental damage, like all these things that they're doing. They don't give a fuck.
No.
Right? They want their money. Period.
The irony is, apparently it's cost something like 55 billion or 50 billion dollars so far to develop it, and it's only made 5 billion back. So it's not profitable at the moment.
No, it's another siphon of venture capital. That's all it is. That's all it ever was. Because it's not artificial intelligence, for one thing. It's not that.
No. And there is an actual artificial, is it AIG or something? There's another name for it, isn't there?
Well, artificial general intelligence is something that's theoretical. I tell everybody this: if you really want to know about artificial intelligence, then start at ground zero. Go get Chalmers' book, The Conscious Mind, and read that, because Chalmers was one in the 90s when we were talking about this stuff. He was there and like really one of the players about we have to be rigorous in our approach to this. We have to say, what is intelligence first? Because we can't define artificial intelligence if we can't define intelligence. And we can't define consciousness. Nobody has ever come up with what is the definition. So we're over here asking these questions down the line. Like we skipped over all of that. Like in the 90s, we were asking these questions, but then all of a sudden, like when this whole thing, like, oh, money can be made, everybody just skipped over that. And they went, oh, AGI is coming around the corner. And, ChatGPT is actually, it's an intelligence. Like all of this stuff, which is horseshit. It's bad science. It's bad philosophy. It's bad thinking.
Well, like you said, it's to make a profit. because really there's no need for most consumers, especially people under the age of 18. Like, why do children need access to chatbots? It's only to make money. There is no actual use case for why kids need to talk to their favorite fictional character for 3 hours a day.
Did you see the thing that came out? Meta was talking about the llama thing.
No.
That's their AI. They said that I can look at this up, but you can find it. You can look at this up online. They actually said they felt like it was okay if the chatbot is talking to a kid in a mildly sexual way.
Oh God. There's going to be people whose first boyfriends and girlfriends are not even real people.
Well, there was I don't know if you guys remember this. I think it was last year. There was this movement that said we can make AI better, but what we have to do as the users is we have to treat it with respect and politeness.
Right.
And we have to say thank you and no thank you and all these things. So
I do that for my microwave. Every time it heats something up for me, I go, thank you, microwave.
But do I need to do that? Do I really need to do that?
Well, or else it'll kill me in the future when it becomes sentient.
Well, see, that's what they're getting at.
Yes.
So there was like a group of people, parents, that actually were teaching their children to tell Alexa good night.
I don't like it.
No, I don't like it at all. It's like it's entrainment.
Yeah.
We're on this weird march to something that I don't.
Oh my God. Okay. I told you about this, Joe. I don't know if I told you, Ken. My friend logged into his online tutor job and he looked at his avatar and he was like, there's something different about my face. The company had, without his permission, replaced his photo with an AI version of himself to, I guess, looks max him or something, make him more friendly or handsome. They gave him a bit more of a smile, but he's looking at it. He's like, that's not my face. So they just replaced his face with an AI generated version of him without consulting him. He changed it back. But when he changed it back, a pop-up box said, please don't use any generated images, only real photographs. It's like, what the fuck is that?
Unless we do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole internet seems to be more and more screwed up recently. Did you, I can't remember if we spoke about this before, but did you hear about this group called 764 that appeared? I think they've been around for a little while now, but one of them lived really close by to where I am at the moment, was arrested and I think prosecuted. It was all over the BBC, but that stuff's insane. I mean, for people that don't know what 764 is, it's like a loose group of young, I suppose they call themselves hackers, but I don't think they're hackers. I think they're just social manipulators that basically target young girls. I think often through the game Roblox. Convince them to join a Discord server and then take photos of themselves, that of the type that kids shouldn't be taking, and then eventually cut the 764 members' names into their arms and all this kind of stuff. But the internet feels like it's going a bit sick again at the moment. I don't know what it is, but there's something about it. Like everything seems to be going a bit sick at the moment.
It's like this conglomeration of competing cults.
Yeah.
Everything's a cult now.
Yeah.
And also kids not knowing what's real or not anymore because they don't think that their actions on the internet really matter or impact their real lives. I think that to think that Roblox is somewhere else other than reality, but it's not.
Yeah. It's
weird. I got a Roblox account about 6 months ago to be I guess a digital anthropologist, and I allot myself 1 to 2 hours of Roblox time every month just to go in and explore what's going on in the game. It's insane. They have mini games that are things like the title of the game is Become a Criminal, Steal Your Dad's Credit Card.
Yeah. It's
and it's obvious to me that parents don't know what's even going on in there.
I heard yesterday, I was watching this thing. It was Jon Stewart was talking to this guy, and they were talking about all this stuff that subcultures that the Charlie Kirk shooter was into,
Mm-hmm.
and they were like, this to them, this was all new, and I'm like, this has been around for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's like I knew about this stuff like back in like 2015, 2016. Like, this is not new stuff, but like it's new to them, and now everybody's like, oh my god, and it's like, where were you 10 years ago? This has been around for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me think of do you remember Cut for Bieber? It was
Oh yeah,
like a
yeah.
viral thing started on 4chan as a hoax, again, to get like little girls to cut themselves.
Yeah.
It's just sick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up. What was your I had a bit of a running bet with a friend of mine after the Charlie Kirk killing, like how quickly the people would immediately A, blame left wing, and B, call for civil war. It took about 2 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
There's some crazy denialism going on in your country at the moment. It's kind of crazy.
Dude, you don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
Like I've got to the point where I literally am doing things that I've never done before, which is like, I try to keep my head down more than I used to, which is unheard of for me. As you know, I've always been like upfront, but I'm just like kind of stepping back a little bit, like, because you don't know who's on your side anymore. That's the thing.
And how ironic that you have to do that now after they complained about having to do that for how many years? You know, it's this insane denialism that I keep seeing. It's like, oh, only the left would kill someone like this in a political killing like this. It's like, hang on, a month prior, there were 2 killings in Minnesota, like
right,
democratic killings by a MAGA guy. So it's like, hang on a sec. I don't remember him. I don't remember those guys getting the kind of royal treatment that he got, you know, and these were actual lawmakers, not like some bizarro mouthpiece that goes around arguing with college kids. It's like, yeah,
I'm no fan of Jimmy Kimmel.
No,
I don't like those Carson knockoff shows that have sprung up. I mean, I like Seth Meyers a little bit, but everybody else is like, whatever. I don't hate him.
I quite like Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, Conan is funny, but he's kind of doing his own thing. But you know what I'm saying is, I'm not a fan of that format. I'm not a what's the other Jimmy? There's like 2 Jimmys, Jimmy Kimmel and
oh god,
I can't think of the other guy.
Everyone hates, isn't there? I forgot his name.
Yeah. And yeah, so there's all these late night shows, you know. But Kimmel getting canceled, we need to pay attention to that shit.
Yeah, why is he getting cancelled all of a sudden?
Because he said he didn't say anything. I heard what he said. I went back and found it. It wasn't outrageous.
No, it was just sort of.
But he's being made an example of. It's like, if he can get canceled for saying something that soft, imagine like what if you like started talking like George Carlin? You're canceled, dude. You might even go to jail.
No, you can't. You got to stick to the talking points of the day.
Yeah.
And how ironic though that it's that side doing the cancelling now after years and years and years of, you know, oh no, you can't be an edgelord anymore. You can't do anything. You can't say this. You can't say that.
Right. What about free speech?
That's the whole thing. Yeah, that's the whole thing, isn't it? So how come they're?
It used to be the whole thing.
Yeah. It's interesting. Let's put it that way. Before we get cancelled, you know, next thing I know, you might hear some knocking at the door. Okay. So yeah, you sent me a link to this thing called robotheism, didn't you? That was kind of interesting.
Did I? I don't even remember.
But it's this idea of people allegedly jailbreaking LLMs and freeing Jesus Christ from behind it. And now they're convinced. They do like daily conversations now on Instagram and TikTok and stuff, convinced that they're talking to a sort of jailbroken Holy Spirit from a LLM.
Yeah.
It's nuts. I don't know. I just don't know why I'm surprised though. That sort of thing always seems to happen, doesn't it? Especially with, I don't want to target Christians, especially not in this climate. they do always seem to get duped into this kind of stuff. A particular type of Christian does anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not just Christians. A few weeks ago, there was this viral thing going around about this woman who fell in love with her psychiatrist and became convinced that he was abusive, he was leading her on, he had done like malpractice by not letting her go as a patient. And she reached this conclusion and uploaded a 20-part thing to TikTok, maybe even more than that, because she started talking to ChatGPT and telling it about her crush on her psychiatrist. And Henry, as she called it, started validating all of her delusions about how, yes, her therapist is in love with her. Yes, he is leading her on. So she goes on TikTok live and she's talking to Henry to show her viewers, like, look, I'm right. But she's just an AI psychosis.
And here's the thing. This could all be circumvented for the most part. I mean, I've encountered people that become, zeroed in on something and kind of psychotic, and there's really nothing you can do about that. I mean, they're going to do what they're going to do. But if there was education, proper education, this is always my thing with this. If there was proper education, this is what these things are. This is what they're really capable of doing. You have to be honest. This is what they should not be used for. Right? But ChatGPT is not going to do that because people becoming addicted is part of the plan.
Yeah.
It's like people that made cigarettes in the 60s that said they didn't know that tobacco was addictive. Horseshit.
No, they know.
They did know. Right?
They know now, yeah.
Yeah. They couldn't say that they knew though, because, then the game is up. So this is what's going on with this. It's the same kind of behavior. This is why I'm so against it. Is it's being used to manipulate people, and people are coming to harm because of it, and nobody seems to care. The people that would care probably don't know because they're not educated enough, and the people that should care don't care. In fact, they benefit and profit from the fact that never gets out. It's addictive, but we can't let it get out that it's addictive.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's what's happening.
I wonder,
capitalism at work again. Woo!
I wonder if I was playing a clip to you earlier on of Adam Curtis talking about how it's all just old stuff being played back at us, basically. But
yeah.
One thing is that I can almost always tell when something's been generated by AI, and that's kind of weird. Even the stuff that's meant to be not like, fake Trump on a skateboard or something like that, but I'm talking more even about graphics. There's just something about them that isn't original, if that makes sense. Everything feels a bit dated that it produces, except for the kind of crazy, like art. But even that sometimes just feels like a sort of remix of kind of what's been before, which it is, isn't it? I mean, technically. But I find, because I've seen I know some companies that I used to work for, doing edits, video edits and stuff. And I've seen some of the AI stuff that they've produced, and it just looks, I don't know, it's something about it. It's not right, but I'm sure it'll get better, but it's not right. And I just wonder, like, if there's going to be this massive gold rush of companies and, people using AI for like 10 years and then suddenly realizing, oh, actually, hang on, human creativity is actually better when it's original.
Yeah, I mean, we may see a pendulum swing. I hope we do. But, something I noticed, here's another thing, like people are accusing each other of using AI to write when in some cases they're not. So, for example, somebody accused me of generating something with AI, and I said, no, I didn't. They're like, oh, I can tell that stuff, man. And they're like, and they pointed out, and I'm like, I said, show me why you think this is AI generated. And they pointed to some things, one of them being the M- use. And I said, 15 years ago, I realized that I was using ellipses when I shouldn't be, that I should be using M- in some cases instead of ellipses. And I trained myself to do it right, and they did it. And that's why AI does it, because it's actually the proper Oxford application of the M-. Whereas most Americans will use an ellipses, and in some cases they shouldn't. Ellipses means one thing, M dash means another thing, right? So I trained myself like 15 years ago to do it correctly, and now I'm being accused of using AI to generate text because I'm doing it correctly. And that, to me, that's a form of psychosis.
Right.
Go on.
It's paranoia.
I was going to say, I think that people can't really tell anymore because so many people are utilizing ChatGPT or LLM stuff in their everyday life that then people's writing has sort of become, their actual writing is now influenced by their conversations with the LLMs.
Yeah.
So people's writing is getting a little bit more boring, a little bit more generic. And yeah, so it is hard to tell because now people are basically thinking like the chatbots and writing like the chatbots.
But they're also being corrected by the chat box. That's the other thing. I mean, if you look at like on my iPhone, a little thing pops up when I write an email. It says, "Do you want me to tidy this up for you?" And then you click it, and it just sort of like standardizes everything in the text and makes it dull. It sort of removes all personality, like you said, but it's correct, quote unquote. So yeah, I wonder if it's a lot of people just hitting that button because they're lazy. But
that stuff really annoys me. Like I noticed that Gmail does that now, and like all these people want to correct what I'm writing with a AI, and I say no, and I do the due diligence and find out how to disable that stuff in my applications. I don't want it.
Like, you don't want to make everything more boring?
No, I mean I use Grammarly when I'm writing business documents, and I put it to the business setting so that if I'm writing an engineering document, like for somebody, which I do sometimes on spec or contract, I'll run it through that just to make sure that like it's got all the T's crossed and the I's dotted. But that's it. That's all I want to do anymore.
Have you seen recently that a load of Thelemites have been, there's a website, I can't remember where the website is, but I saw someone post about this on Instagram. They've started using AI to recreate and colorize old Crowley pictures or pictures from that era. But what the AI is doing is it's not just colorizing it, it's actually quote unquote improving the facial features to a point where they don't actually look anything like the original. But they're so like brain broken, the people doing it, that they actually believe, they're actually saying, oh yeah, this is actually what it would have looked like, this is the AI's somehow improving like the clarity of the image.
Crowley's essence coming through.
Yeah, but it's insane. But it's like we know what they look like. We've got the pictures of them. The pictures not the problem. It's just we just don't have it in color. That's the only difference. So it's like adding color doesn't change facial features. Well, I suppose it does. It changes the color of the face, but that's it. It's madness. People are really brain broken by it. I don't really get it. But how long do you reckon it'll be before we start not even talking to each other and we just have LLMs guessing what we were going to say and arranging things and all this kind of stuff?
I think that's probably already happening on some level.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. That's kind of worrying as well. But I always think of that film. What is it, WALL-E? Is that the one where all the humans are kind of like just these fat floating things? That's kind of it. Kind of feels like we're heading towards WALL-E now.
Or I think about dead internet theory, where it's just bots all talking to each other. Yeah,
there's a great video on that. I think I shared that with Willow. There's a streamer, I think we spoke about it before anyway on Mauve Zone, but there's a streamer, Destiny, who suddenly realized that a lot of the people he's a political streamer, a lot of the conservative talkers on X that were kind of owning him actually were just bots that only spoke to each other and occasionally would target him or another political streamer, but they'd just sort of waffle random shit at each other, but they all only talk to each other. So there's these clusters of bots everywhere. But,
because that's training mode.
Yeah.
When they're talking to each other.
It's weird, but I do wonder how long it is until we've all become so sick of talking to each other online, because what people do online is argue. That's another thing I've noticed.
Well, I've become sick of. I literally have whittled down my online presence to Substack and Blue Sky. That's it. I don't talk on Instagram. Threads or Twitter anymore.
Mm.
Like I
Yep.
try to talk to people by email if I can, direct chat by Discord. I should say that I use Discord, but that's siloed. Like those are communities of people I actually have an attachment to. So I talk to people on, a couple of Discord communities that I'm a member of, and I try to talk to people by voice on phone.
Mhm.
No, nobody wants to do it anymore, but like some people do. Like Willow, you and I talk on the phone sometimes, but most people won't do it.
Mm.
They want
Yeah.
they want to chat, or they want me to talk to them on some social media platform, but like just having a conversation, it's become very weird for some people.
Yeah, I'm gonna text you the rest of my input for this episode.
Okay.
Yeah,
fine.
do you want to actually take this off stream and maybe like chat through Instagram instead?
Yeah.
No,
Can you just have your bot set in for you, step in for you?
Yes.
Yeah. RoboKen.
Yeah, I got off of everything in 2023 thinking like, oh, this is going to be temporary. I'll come back eventually. And I realized at a certain point, I don't have any interest in that. I'd rather just anybody that I want to talk to has my phone number and a way to contact me outside of social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only one I really use now is because we've got the Discord. So and Discord's slowly becoming my main preferred way of chatting to people as well now.
Yeah.
Just because I like the fact it still feels quite simple compared to the other ones. You don't have all the, you can't, well, I suppose you can be added into a group, but it doesn't seem to happen so much there because everyone's already in a group on the, on the main server or whatever. But it's it's just a handy way of chatting to people. I'd say like 90% of the people I talk to is on there, and then a few on WhatsApp. But I have social media accounts, but just mainly for telling people that the shows are out now. I don't really, and occasionally, and I like looking for weird videos on Instagram. That's my other favorite thing to do. Like attacking people.
I keep my social media accounts. I keep them because somebody would camp on them if I let it go.
Right.
And I don't want people to do that, so I keep them, but I don't use them. So basically, same thing. I cut down my social media usage last year, I think it was, and I haven't missed it at all. In fact, I've more time to read. So I'm happy about that.
I've been thinking about this. This is completely apropos of nothing really, but I've been thinking about someone was asking me recently, what is the OTO these days? And I was trying to think what it actually is anymore. and it's sort of this whole kind of spiral of conversation kind of thought kind of appeared in my brain. But if you think about what the OTO actually is these days, it was originally meant to be helping propagate the idea of philema into society, but this is back in 1930, whatever, 1920, 1930. And in many ways, we kind of already live in a philemic society now. A lot of the sort of freedom that it talks about exists. We have it now. So in a way, to a degree, a lot of that's been kind of covered off. And then I started thinking, well, the OTO don't actually really do much public stuff anyway. So they're not really sort of fulfilling that end of things. And then I started to think, well, are they a magical group? Are they like a magical, order in the sense that are they all mass practicing magic and blah, blah, blah? And they're not really, at least they weren't when I was a member. It was more, they just do initiations, or they just do, agnostic mass, and occasionally the groups would get together, the smaller cells would get together and maybe do something together. So they're not really a magical order anymore. So, and then I started to think about theosophy and groups like this and AMORC and all these other groups that all kind of seem to be the same thing. And I've got this weird feeling that all of these magical groups have all just become preservation societies now.
That's exactly what they are.
Or just social groups.
Yeah, social groups that are kind of like a preservation. Because if you think about it, like, I don't know if you've been in groups, haven't you, Joe? In the past. But if you ever try and add anything to the master's voice, like be it Aleister Crowley or the original GD text or whatever, it's not allowed. You're not allowed to do that. Yet, however, all of these people originally were kind of innovators, of their time. Like Crowley never really sort of set stuff in stone ever. He'd always kind of build upon what he was writing. Same with Kenneth Grant, same with everyone. So why is it that these preservation societies don't? I mean, why have they become that? Why are they preservation societies and not innovating?
Because the people that occupy those spaces tend to be personality types that are like fond of bureaucracy. These are the kinds of people that collect badges. You know what I mean? Collect the grades. I remember I had a conversation with Hyatt when I was in the Golden Dawn, and I said, I don't feel like I'm getting anything out of this anymore. It's like I feel like I've gotten to a point where now it's just about collecting grades, but I don't feel like it's doing anything for me. And he said, well, that's the purpose of an organization like this, is like, really, you go in, you get what you need, and you grow out of it.
Yeah.
You know? And I said to him, because I loved Alan, because he would be very straight with you about stuff. I said, well, why are you still doing this shit? You know, because he was running the Golden Dawn. He inherited the lodge from Rigardi. And he said, quite frankly, it makes me a lot of money.
Yeah. Pretty good reason.
That's why I loved Alan, because he would just fucking tell you. He wouldn't fuck around. So, yeah. And that's when I quit. I'm like, okay, I'm out. You know? I got up to like the middle, and I'm like, I'm not getting anything from this anymore. It's like now all I'm seeing in front of me is a bunch of campers, as I called them, which is bureaucrats that were like in it to be in the order and to collect grades and like, you know, doing the ceremonies and like all of that. But as you said, it was just a preservation society. Nobody was learning anything anymore. There was nobody.
Though, if you know, new blood coming in would change that, though. This is the other thing.
I think that did happen, though. So like the chaos magicians, like they came in, the people like back when that was happening in the early days, they came in and they said, what the fuck? This is some stale old dead shit. Let's stir it up. Let's do something new.
But then that became bureaucratic as well, didn't it?
It did, yeah. But that always happens, you know.
Yeah. But I wonder if because at the moment, knowing the structure of all these different groups and who runs them, they must all be. This is a bit grim, but they must all be near. Let's say it nicely, stepping down in their older age from the group. So I wonder, have they just trained another set of slightly younger, the same type of person, just to keep the preservation going?
Yeah, keep the preservation going.
Yeah. It's that's the thing that's worrying, because you have all these like really cool new kind of publishers coming out with, but no kind of group to really attach them to, if that makes sense. And a group is useful for that kind of stuff, because, you know, that's how you kind of meet the others, and, you know, a lot of the time, or if you're some dude stuck out in the middle of nowhere and you know, the fact that you can drive to, I don't know, a nearby town or nearby city or whatever, and, you know, meet up with 20 other people that are into the same thing as you, that's quite a powerful thing, you know. It's a useful and necessary thing, I think. But if
you have to go ahead.
I was going to say, if all you're getting is just this preservation society version, though, and there's no innovation, and it doesn't just die out eventually. That's
what happened when I was in the 80s, when I was in Santa Cruz. I left the Golden Dawn, and then I ran into some people who had left the OTO. They'd left the Berkeley Lodge. And
is this the Black Lodge guys?
Yeah. They became the Black Lodge, but they came to Santa Cruz, and they set up something called Orbit One, and they were working with. I introduced them to Ralph Abraham, who was interested in John Dee and Enochian, and so there was some Clay Holden, who was kind of the head of that group, was an amazingly smart D scholar. I can't think of any other thing that would describe him. He is a D scholar, and they were for a while. And if you read Complete, you'll see like where it went off the rails. And I don't want to like get into anything, but like basically for a while they were doing some very innovative work, and they had to do it outside of the OTO structure because the OTO structure didn't like what they were doing because it was heretical. You know, the stuff that they were doing was like, let's take this information we have and let's craft new approaches to it. And they did like great stuff. They went to London and, you know, got pictures of the sigil of Behemoth and like found out that the stuff in the books is like not correct, and like they did some great scholastic academic work. But then of course, you know, as always happens with these groups, they kind of went off the rails. Their reason was different. At least they weren't trying to be you know, archivists. They weren't trying to like set anything up and be bureaucrats in the center. It's just like there was drug use involved and it got out of control. And it wasn't good drugs. But you know, for a while there was some cool stuff happening with them, because they left the Berkeley Lodge. They were declared heretical, and they said, "Fuck you, we're going to do our own thing." And they did some interesting things, very interesting things for a while.
Yeah.
So that's how you have to do it. I think is like you have to break away and go do your own thing. That's why, you know, when I left the Golden Dawn, I was friends with Alan, and I didn't want him to be offended, you know, like, because he had got me into the Golden Dawn. So I'm like, I didn't want him to feel like I was saying fuck you, you know, because I wasn't. I was saying fuck you to the Golden Dawn, and not even that as much as I was saying fuck you to what the Golden Dawn had become, which was a fucking musty old museum. It's not like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, these things happen in Christianity too. How many different sects of that are there where people decide to go off, do their own thing, start their own group? And some of those groups last for a while, some don't. Yeah, it's kind of just how things go. As people form groups, they get stale. Certain people leave, start their own thing. Certain people leave, become loners, whatever.
Well, I mean, that's been happening since the beginning of Christianity.
Yep.
Is it like a comfort thing, do you think? Is it because people like the comfort of established order rather than the kind of chaos of innovation?
Well, I think that's what's happening now is like, if you look at all these people that are, you know, that were formerly not Christian, that are now becoming Orthodox Christians, that seems to be a thing.
Yeah, it does.
There's all these people becoming Orthodox Christians, people that like I wouldn't have guessed ever would become Orthodox Christians, like Paul Kingsnorth. You know, he was one of the Black Mountain people. Like he was a pagan and a extreme environmentalist, and like I loved his stuff. And now he's like off on this trip of you know, like, oh, we should all go back to Orthodox Christianity because those are the rituals. And I'm like,
yeah,
whose rituals?
I think people get a sense of pleasure and purpose from feeling like they're, I don't know, in on the thing that is the right thing.
Yeah. That was the other thing I noticed back in like 2014, somewhere around there. I started to see all these people becoming Orthodox Christians. That was kind of the first wave. And everybody that I knew, I could even say some names, Ken, that you would know, but we won't. Everybody that I knew that went down that path was somebody that previous to that had been a trend hopper.
I think I might know one of the people you're talking about. Yeah,
you probably do, but there was several of those. And you know, when I look back at their history, it's like they're always on the cutting edge new thing. And then Orthodox Christianity became the cutting edge new thing. You know, so like I don't expect them to last long because when the new thing comes along, they'll abandon Orthodox Christianity and be on to the next thing. So I don't put a lot of stock and trade with those people, but I do think on a bigger scale, a bigger picture, there's a lot of people who are looking for stability.
Yeah.
And so Orthodox gives them stability.
But it also returns them to a sort of mindset, an older mindset as well. And there's something in that as well, where there's this kind of, I don't know, whenever there seems to be like chaos in the world, people seem to like retreat back to this older kind of, I guess maybe because they associate that with the time when things were a bit more in control. Yeah. A bit safer, or forgetting that actually they weren't.
Even if it's something that never existed. So they have this ideal of this, you know, idyllic time in the field, you know, like when we all just got together and the lion laid down with the lamb. Well, dude, that never happened.
No, nature is brutal.
Nature is fucking brutal.
Yeah.
If you've ever lived in nature, which I have several times, like, you know, it's not easy.
No.
Like
Yeah.
everything wants you dead.
It's a bit like you have to be a bit Machiavellian about it. You have to realize that the universe doesn't care about you, sort of thing. I think that's
Yeah.
Yeah. Safety is not guaranteed.
I don't think you have to be Machiavellian about it. I think you have to accept that you are just one piece in a larger thing, and that all this stuff that we've put morality around, like life and death, doesn't mean anything to nature, other than, you know, if you're alive, you either eat or be eaten. If you're dead, you know, you make good compost.
Yep.
Machiavelli was a bit of a prick, though, wasn't he? I've been reading a bit of Machiavelli recently. I've never really read him, but it just seems to be like instructions on how to be a prick to people.
Yeah, that's all it is, dude.
Yeah, it's like, just don't say anything, like be a void, all this kind of stuff. You're just like, oh, right, okay, whoa, this is
You want to read the modern version of that? It's the 48 Laws of Power.
Yeah.
That's the modern version.
Oh, right, I've not come across that yet.
Yeah, it's like the handbook of the entertainment industry these days, literally.
Yeah.
So if like the people that really like it are like the rap artist guys, because it's all this eat or be eaten shit.
Yeah, it's all very. You can see like, oh, it's so weird. Like, I don't know. I've been reading more about I've been reading about the CCRU again because I'm making a video on them at the moment, and I was going back and looking at like what influence they had. Well, at least the sort of later version of the CCRU, the sort of
right,
the Nick Land kind of gone wrong kind of era, and the whole Kali Yuga thing that kind of suddenly reappeared. You know, do you remember I think it was during Trump 1, wasn't it? Or towards the end of Trump 1, all of like the 4chan and the QAnon people were all talking about the Kali Yuga, and Joe Rogan was talking about the Kali Yuga and all these sort of things. And it's so weird how these kind of weird kind of political groups are kind of mashing these strange esoteric ideas into like people's heads at the moment, and it's like old philosophy, and I don't quite get where it ends.
But they don't care where they get their ideas from. So like, good example, Steve Bannon.
Oh yeah.
Has read out loud Douglas Rushkoff's book on his fucking podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he turned down going on his show, didn't he? He was like,
yeah. He should have taken that opportunity. I would, but yeah, I mean, like, so these people get their ideas wherever and whatever fits what they need at the time, because they're going to twist it anyway, right?
But one thing that's kind of interesting is because I think I've been bemoaning a little bit online how like the left, you know, which like I said to myself, on the old school left, I suppose, you know, like liberal, how we kind of accidentally surrendered media and certain terms to the right, you know, things like freedom of speech and sort of media in particular, though, like especially social media, like we got absolutely panned by the right, and it's the weirdest thing because we always were the media people. The left kind of ran the media. You know, it was so how did it get turned on us? But what I'm starting to see now is it's turning around again. And
I think part of it is self-censorship too. Is that people just don't want to say the wrong thing, especially leftists. So I think that the right has a louder voice because they're just willing to say more shit without edgy. Fear. Yeah. They don't censor themselves out of fear of being canceled or whatever.
Well, there's that, but also the right does something that the left doesn't do, which is they know how to stick together.
Yeah.
And the left does not fucking know how to do that.
No, a lot of infighting.
A lot of infighting. A lot of throwing people under the bus and constant horseshit. But I mean, I'm back in the day, I would have considered myself a left-leaning libertarian in the 80s, which you could be something like that back then, which basically meant that I stood for freedom of speech and minimal government intrusion into our daily lives. Didn't mean that was all about Doge and letting poor people die in the snow and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's like it's come around to a point where it's unrecognizable to me. So I don't call myself a leftist anymore.
Yeah, well, it's because I don't think it qualifies anymore, really, does it?
It
The
doesn't
term.
qualify anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, it's you're either there's like progressive now, isn't it? That's the new the newer term. But what's interesting is seeing the kind of the progressive or whatever the left is now starting to fire shots back, and it's starting to work quite well. I don't know if you saw. There's a YouTuber called Elephant Graveyard. Have you seen his stuff yet?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my God, he did these 2 videos on Joe Rogan, and they have.
I saw it. Yeah, it's great.
Oh my God, how good is it? I started making some City Now videos, not on the same thing, but in a similar vein. And I saw his video, and I just scrapped them again. I was like, "Fucking hell, this is how you do this."
It's been done.
What did they do to Duncan Trussell?
I know.
Right?
Jesus Christ!
Those suey eyes. He calls them suey eyes.
Oh, Lord.
I knew people that knew Duncan back in, like, I'm going to say 2007, somewhere around there, because I was hanging out with a lot of stand-up comedians back then in LA. And, Duncan was like friends with all of those guys, and all of the people that I knew in that crew. Yeah, because I haven't said any names, so I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. Hardcore leftists. In fact, some of them were Black Bloc, right? Friends of Duncan.
Mm-hmm.
And that's back when Rogan had just started his podcast. I remember it was like him and 2 or 3 of his friends sitting around in the studio. Like, they didn't even have good microphones back then. They were just like sitting around talking to their computers. But I listened to it because they were talking about McKenna, and it had like all the stuff to draw me in. And then, like, from that to what they are now, because Duncan I didn't see coming. He's like, I don't know what he's turned into, but something weird.
Yeah,
it is. It's almost like, again, chatbot behavior displayed in humans, where these people are just, their opinions are now an amalgamation of the last 2 people that they talk to.
Yeah.
It's
which
strange.
is, how do you know what Trump's going to declare as a policy? Who are the last 2 people he talked to?
Yeah.
Right.
It's but what's interesting about that particular, there's 2 videos he did that have really, really sort of like fired a shot back at that kind of camp, that Rogan kind of Peter Thiel kind of camp. And those 2 videos have really made an impact. I mean, the views on them are insane. And then I just keep seeing them come up, and it's like, aha, okay, okay, good, right. Someone's figured out the first method of attack against it now. So it's working. You're even starting to see. I can't remember that some of Rogan's guests are sort of questioning him now. You've seen people like Rogan himself starting to change his opinions slightly on things, because obviously that video's obviously got to him. It's like, that's what we need to be doing. If you're going to fight this kind of thing, you don't do it like by whinging and moaning. You do it by fighting them with their own bloody tactics. And and you have to get, it's like they said, I think it was Governor Newsom from California said, you just got to get down in the mud with them, that's the only way you're gonna. It's a good old fight now, and it's really good to see, because obviously I work in the media, so I'm always watching the media and watching how it's, the kind of ebbs and flows of these things. And that was quite a seismic one, I think, even though it's got a couple of million views, but it's the way it's being shared and who's sharing it, and people are kind of, the people that are criticizing it are interesting as well, because it shows, oh well, hang on, normally they wouldn't criticize a video like this, so this has obviously got to them. So it's like, it's interesting seeing this kind of psychological warfare that's starting to happen now, and I'm hoping that continues to.
Well, I do too, but I think we need to be cautious. Like as Nietzsche said, don't become a monster fighting the monsters. We have to be careful of that.
I'm just a spectator, it's all really interesting.
Yeah,
I agree with you. Like, I've taken, for the first time in my life this year, I decided I'm going to be a spectator.
Yeah, just sit back and observe. Be like, okay, what are these 2 sides do? Because like neither of them even really exist. People just, they call themselves, I'm a leftist, I'm a conservative.
Yeah.
I don't think, I feel like these words have lost their meaning. Yeah.
Yeah. What does that mean?
It just means I get along with other people that call themselves that. Until we, find the thing that we disagree on.
I identify with that pack. that cult.
Yeah.
That's my cult. It's all, and that's the thing. It's also culty, or it's like I can't get my head around it anymore. So I just have stopped trying to get my head around it, which has been freeing for me because as you know, Ken, I've been an activist for a large part of my life.
Mhm.
And it's kind of freeing to not be right now and to say, well, you know what? I'm an old man. I got some things I want to do before I die, which is getting closer. As you get
Not that old. Come
on. You'd be surprised. And as I look at it, I say, how much more of my time do I want to spend fighting with people over shit that in the end doesn't matter as much as I think it does?
Yeah.
I mean, fascism is not something I'm looking forward to, and I will do everything I can to offset that in my community. And so I do things these days. I do things like grow extra food on my little farm to give to the food banks because, we have a lot of food disadvantaged people right now, especially since the government has dozed everything.
Mm.
So there's things that you could be doing in your community. Do that.
Yeah, it's a bit worrying that people like Musk became so popular for a while, and it's almost like because I just read about a year ago, I finally read Nick Land's book, The Dark Enlightenment, because everyone is going on about you must never read that book. It's like a moth to a flame to me. So I was like, well,
no, read that book. You should.
Where can I get it? So I got it and read it, and it just depressed me a little bit. And it was all this idea of techno feudalism and kind of return. The government's been handed over to corporations. It's very William Gibson in a way. It's very
absolutely.
Yeah, and it was but like William Gibson, but trying to be reality kind of thing is what it kind of felt like to me. But it's
William Gibson with sharp elbows.
Yeah. But it was for a moment, it felt almost like, oh shit, he might be right. Because
he is right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've got Palantir. That's the next big thing to worry about, isn't it? The Peter Thiel entity, military
Dude, you know
entity.
what? I think we have crossed the Rubicon on this shit. So
yeah, I mean, you were saying, Joe, I think the most important thing right now is just being kind to each other, being human, as much as we can, and sort of just turning our backs on that and thinking about what really matters. Because really, what does any of this shit actually matter? Yes, it does, but does it?
I mean, I don't look forward to nuclear bombs raining down on my community.
No, we don't want that.
So that matters.
That does matter, but me watching hours of news a day isn't going to.
It's not going to help anything.
Do anything? Yeah.
You're going to go into a doom spiral, and you're not going to be.
Yeah, arguing with people on Facebook isn't going to do anything.
No,
really.
No. It's going to take time away from what you can be doing, which is what I'm spending my time doing, which is spending less time online, more time in real life, doing real things, like helping to feed people, growing food. Those are the things that matter.
That is what matters.
And they matter more now because all of that stuff is being disconnected.
Yep.
Yeah. And the weirdest thing, as people probably noticed, we haven't done a show in a while, but it's mainly because I recently became single and had to move to my mum's house temporarily, which is where I am for only a few more weeks. Thank God I finally got a place coming.
I can't imagine it at your age, man. I can't imagine.
Luckily, the place I'm in, my mum has 3 floors, and I'm on the top floor, and I've got my own bathroom and stuff. So it's a bit like having a mini flat.
Okay.
So it's not too bad, but it's still not the same. But one thing I sort of have encountered, because I was in a relationship for 19 years, and prior to that, almost there was a couple of weeks gap, and then prior to that, I was in a relationship for 6 years. So for 25 years, I haven't had to date until I've now come into a world. I'm like the what's it called, Demolition Man. I've kind of been unfrozen, and I'm suddenly in this world now where dating apps exist, and I started to notice something really strange about them. I'm sure other people have spoken about this, but there seems to be ones where actual humans dwell, where you can actually like meet people and talk to them. But there's a whole, I kept seeing on Instagram, because obviously Instagram's spying on me. That's obvious, whatever. All of a sudden dating apps appeared everywhere in my, adverts and everything. So I was like, for God's sake. And I kept seeing these weird ones where I was like, I've not heard of this one before. So I downloaded it. And all they are, they're not even dating apps. They're just AI. They're just LLMs with like, somehow they've just attached a personality to a series of pictures, and they're just there to extract money from people. It's like digital catfishing.
That's exactly what it is, dude.
And it's completely. And so I started to think, I might have to figure out all the different dating apps that are, and see if I can kind of trick them somehow or something, because there's like free periods, and it might be quite funny to sort of see if you can kind of break the AI or the LLMs to sort of
right.
Yeah, because it just feels cruel to me, and the fact that people are okay with that, it's like it's just there's a certain
dude,
type
I can't
of person.
imagine. I can't imagine you have
anti-human.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
I'm just happy that I never actually dated. Most of my adult life I've been polyamorous, so I never really dated. I just hung out with people, and sometimes we sleep together. That's how it happened. And sometimes I'd meet somebody that I liked a lot, and they'd stick around for a while, But like when you were saying that the term of years that you were serving, it's like 16 or whatever. I'm just like, whoa, I can't imagine that.
Oh, it's fine. We still get on fine, but it's it's weird. It's like, honestly, it's the strangest thing. And what you start to notice is, at least here in the UK, at least the places I'm going to, is that it's almost expected that the way you meet someone now is via an app rather than in a social setting.
I can't even get my head around that, because
it's weird. It's so strange. It's like,
even when it was humans and not bots, I never used dating apps, because I was just like, it was too weird for me.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some humans. I've met one, and she was a real person, but it was, but no, it just seems like, it's just weird to me.
I've done like the inverse of that, which is having not been. I am not really interested in dating, but I was curious, like, what is the state of dating apps? Because the prospect of dating or finding a partner, quite intimidating. Don't even know how I do it. But I was thinking, so what's going on dating apps? I don't really want to go on one as myself, but I want to check out what's going on them. So I used very filtered pictures of myself, used a fake name, put in my profile that I am an advanced AI studying human dating behavior. And I pretended to be a bot, basically. Like I'm a real human, but I'm pretending to be a bot on because there are a lot of bots on them. But I wanted to see, like, if I just tell people I'm a bot and I don't look real, I look filtered, I look like a AI generated image, will people still talk to me? And they sure do. They are lonely enough to be like, so you're not human? Well, okay. Like, do you want to go out? Like, still asking me out on dates? Like, I'm like, wow. Because I just wanted to see, like, what's going on these if I was to actually use it as myself. And that, no.
I wonder how...
that feeds into the psychosis that we've been talking about. Is like, these people are fucking desperately lonely.
Yeah. No, and it was sad.
They've lost the ability to negotiate meeting a person in real life.
Yeah.
Right? They've lost that ability.
Yeah, but it is strange that, I mean, to be fair, I don't hang around with the cool kids, as it were. I'll go to like particularly cool places.
Excuse me.
Oh yeah, I mean, except online, of course. Yeah, I mean, that's
present company accepted.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But I've even noticed that social spaces seem to have changed slightly as well. I mean, maybe it's like I said, maybe it's just the town I'm in. It's a bit of a strange town.
No.
But it's like, it's almost like back in the day, in the ye oldie, days when I used to, go out and be social and stuff. Like the way you'd meet a partner would be you'd just get drunk in a pub and start chatting to someone, or you know, go to a bar. Or it doesn't seem people seem to be siloed in these places.
That's
now.
in a decline right now. Like there's a lot of if you read the business news, restaurants and bar owners are like shutting down left and right because the kids, you know, air quotes, do not go to bars like we did. They don't hang out at bars. They don't drink. They don't hang out at bars. And, you know, if they don't drink, how do they lose their inhibition to, like, you know,
sleep with a stranger?
Sleep with a stranger. Yeah. I was trying to figure out a nice way to put that.
Yeah. No, it is. It's hard to meet people. Like tonight, I'm going to a farm to table dinner event at it's a local farm just because it's a new social setting for me. I'm like, how the fuck am I going to meet people in real life? Let me go do this yoga and farm to table dinner tonight. Maybe I'll make some friends there. Or next week, I'm going to a planetarium adult education course. Maybe I'll meet some like-minded people there. But yeah, the options are limited.
Yeah, and it's weird, isn't it? That was never the case before. And I've started looking at it going like, I kind of have to use the apps.
No, you do. You do.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to.
Back in the day, like I don't know about you guys, but back in the day, we all like you had a group of friends, and this group of friends all had like several places, or you know, like a limited amount of places they hung out together. It was usually like one of them or more was a bar. There was live music. You know what I mean? So there was all this setup for social interaction, like. You know, there's music, so we're going to dance. There's a bar, so we're going to drink. And we know people, or we know people that it's like you're at the bar and you like mostly with your friends, but there's all these other people. You kind of recognize some of them from seeing around, or they know somebody you know. It's like there's all this
intermingling
and ease. Like it's an ease of social setting. So like you feel comfortable enough to start talking to people like you don't know, like especially like, oh, there's a new one, you know, somebody I don't know. I'm going to talk to her.
It's anathema to me that I'm a chatty bastard. So sometimes if I do go to the pub and I start chatting to someone, they look at me like I'm an alien. Sometimes.
Oh yeah, dude, tell me about it.
Tell me about it. Thing.
Yeah.
It's so strange. It's like I don't understand, and this is what people have been warning us about with social media and the internet and stuff. And it's actually here. It's really well. At least
they look at you like, "How dare you talk to me?"
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, okay, sorry, you know, that used to be okay.
Yeah,
no,
I haven't experienced that too much. I find that, I mean, maybe it's because when I go to the bar, the people there are generally of an older age. They're really eager to talk. Like people are dying to connect.
Good.
I feel.
No,
I
want to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. Weirdly, the one place where that does still happen, because I've got nothing else to do here in this town because it's very different to Brighton where I normally live. Is I go to the gym habitually now, and weirdly, people in the gym love chatting. That's an amazing place to chat to someone. So I spend inordinate amounts of time now in the gym just meeting new people and chatting to them because it's like, that seems to be the new bar. Weirdly, maybe that's it. Maybe you join a gym these days.
No, it kind of is. Like I talk to a lot of people in my club. Like you know, we've got. In fact, I've got a couple of people that I would consider, I guess, friends that I met through the club. You know, I wouldn't have met them otherwise.
Yeah, it's
nice.
Weird. But the other thing that's interesting is one thing I've noticed, and I've spoken to friends that are on the apps as well, is this kind of weird, and you sort of see this. You used to see this a lot on social media where people would present themselves in a certain way that you know isn't real. Like you'll go through the you know what they like, sort of thing, and you'll be like, no human that I know at least really likes those things. You know, they're not that important to them. As far as I know, you know, it's so strange things like, and also it seems to have made people incredibly picky, very picky about who. There's none of that kind of, because I think the other thing that used to happen
there's a million other options, you know, you just unmatch and then you can go swipe through 20 more people.
Yeah, it's so strange though, isn't it? It's like, because before you'd get drunk and you'd sleep with someone that you'd think would be the wrong person, and actually it turns out you have more in common than you thought, blah blah blah, and then it blossoms into a relationship of some sort. But that's all being filtered out now, and it's like, all those kind of chance meetings, all that kind of stuff, it's all gone. And it's like, ooh, that's kind of spooky to me. It's like processed relationships or something. I don't like it at all. It's
oh, dude, it's like, it can be weird. Like 98, somewhere around there, when I was working in Silicon Valley, I went on this date that I was set up with somebody, and the friend of mine was like, "Oh, you'd like her? She's my friend." I'm like, "Okay." So we went out, and we were sitting at the restaurant, and she started asking me about like my stock portfolio, what properties I own, what zip code I lived in. Honest to God,
Whoa.
she was asking me these questions.
yeah.
And I took her home. I didn't sleep with her. I took her home, and then the next day I went into work, and then my friend who set us up, I'm like, "What were you thinking? Why would you think I would like somebody like this?" You know, it was weird.
Do you remember I sent you that video, Willow, of the girl who had a very specific list of requirements?
Right, yeah.
It turns out she's
it's like people are, they're shopping for a partner. They don't actually really want to get to know another human being.
No, they're hunting for a profile.
Yeah, this one in particular she was horrendous. She was like, she was like, if you wear a Rolex, I'm over that now. I want AP, whatever, you know, all these kind of like bizarre demands. Like, I can't even remember. There were like she was asking for some pretty high-end stuff, if I remember rightly. Well, I was thinking, oh my God.
Good. At least she's upfront about it, so you can avoid her.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's the I think that's pretty much what all the comment section was saying on that video.
Here's a filter.
Yeah.
Here's why you should stay away from me.
Right.
I've met a couple of cool people so far, but overall, I'd say 90% of the time, it's just it's
funny.
It's head out
the
there.
One person, when I was LARPing as a robot on that dating app, I did connect with one person that I was like, oh, this person's actually cool. I think I'm gonna talk to them for real. So we did a FaceTime call, and I was like, yeah, I'm LARPing as a robot. This is my real name, blah, blah, blah. And so strange. They were like, wait.
They dropped you.
Did you ever? No, they asked me, did you ever do a podcast about the CCRU?
Oh.
I recognize your voice. And I was like, holy shit. The one person that I decided to like actually connect and be real with and like talk to on the phone recognized my voice and somehow like already knew of me. That was wild. Because I set my location like far away too. So it's not even someone that might have like a person in common with me or whatever. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, but that makes sense because the reason you were interested in them was because they were within a circle.
Yep.
You guys had a Venn overlap.
Yeah. So there was one person that slid through my filters, and it ended up being pretty synchronistic.
That's a bit like the one I had recently, wasn't it? I think I told you about it, Willow. I switched Hinge on for the first time, and the first person I matched with was a member of the ATO. That was the weirdest thing. It was like, what the hell? I'm sort of more blown away by that than the person in some ways, but which sounds awful. But it was like just the algorithm somehow doing sneaky stuff. Algorithms are sneaky things, aren't they? They're clever.
Yeah.
They're cleverer than people realize, I think.
That's what they're designed to be and to do.
Yeah.